Hi there. I know it seems a little quick for me to be posting another video, but I've been talking a lot about learning photography. I've been talking a lot about improving your photography by doing, not by buying new equipment. Even if all you have is an old film camera like this, you have a lot you can learn from it without investing a tremendous amount of cash. So, what do you need to do? Well, I've already talked about the fact that you need practice. You need to get out there and practice. The probably most popular route for receiving information these days is the internet. In particular, places like right here on YouTube. Because of course, many YouTube channels, people like Mike Brown, for instance, Gavin Huey, who does videos for Adorama, and people who are more inspirational than technical, like Ted Forbes and David Duchemin, who I've mentioned here before. You can go watch their videos. There are others out there as well, of course, and you will learn a lot from them. But you had to be careful. When you go on the internet and when you go on YouTube, there are many very professional sounding presentations. But when you actually pick it apart, you realize that it is quite often made up of a lot of misinformation. So you do need to be careful. The people that I have just mentioned are examples of those that are quite good and whom I have not seen any real examples of their misinforming their audience. They do seem to get things accurately. Others, such as Chase Jarvis, now has the Creative Live channel, which is a pay-to-view situation where they have all sorts of courses in photography that are also worth considering, as are people like Scott Kelby. But, again, for the most part, we are talking about a separation here. We're talking about simply viewing things online and trying to absorb enough to be able to apply it. That is not always the most effective way to learn. Some people are still into books. Some people buy the manuals, they work through them, they buy the how-to books, they buy the inspirational books, they buy the photo books. They go get whatever they can from them. And again, that works for some people, not for others. But it is a worthwhile way of doing things. However, the whole point of this video is neither of those. The whole point of this video is to talk about one of the most underutilized ways of learning photography. And that is the photography club or the camera club. Quite a few years ago in Gander, Newfoundland, myself and 3 or 4 other like-minded photography enthusiasts got together and started meeting fairly regularly at a local coffee shop. Over the period of a few months, we had basically built ourselves into an informal club of about 7 or 8 members. Well, fast forward to a couple of years later, and we're talking about our meetings taking place now in a classroom at the community college with a membership on a normal night showing up about 30 people and a total membership of close to 50. Now, over the years, that number has gone up and down. Some people come to a camera club or photo club to get a start, to learn basics. And once they've got that, then they move on. And that's fine. If that's your purpose in going, then it has served its purpose. But what I'm saying to everybody is that if there is a camera club, photo club, that is accessible to you, check it out. Usually, if there is any membership fee, it is a modest sum. I'm now in Riverview, New Brunswick. I am a member of the Focus Camera Club in Moncton, New Brunswick, and our membership fees are only, I believe it's somewhere around $30 for a year. For that money, you get 2 meetings a month from September until June. You get a few special events over the course of the year. There are guest speakers. There are opportunities to share your images. There are contests where you get to basically see how your images do in comparison to some others in the club. There are all of these different things that will help. Plus, there is the aspect that I like best, and that is simply getting a chance to sit around with a bunch of other photographers and talk about photography. Because quite often, an informal conversation is where you learn the most. Because that's when questions come up, and then answers to those questions. Someone doesn't know what to do about a catalog in Lightroom. Somebody has an answer. Someone is not sure about how this idea of crop factor affects lens focal length. Somebody has the answer. Someone else isn't interested in a new camera form, like for instance they're interested in mirrorless. Somebody in the club is using mirrorless. We have answers. So guys, please, as I said, this is the most underutilized aspect of learning photography. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't need a camera that looks like this in order to be a photographer. Quite a few people these days have a camera that looks like this. But when you look at the results they get from it, you realize that that person is a photographer. But unfortunately, as capable as this is, there are still a lot of things people need to learn. You will still find people with a great eye for the image, yet their pictures are technically quite awful because they don't know how to use this properly. So guys, regardless of who you are, what your interests in photography are, if you show up at a camera club, and if you stick around for enough meetings to figure out what's going on, you will probably learn enough to make a significant difference in your photography. So get out there, look for those camera clubs, join those camera clubs. As I said, I'm a member of the Focus Camera Club. The first 2 or 3 months that I was there, I was a newcomer not just to the club but to the area. We had just moved to Riverview, New Brunswick from Gander, Newfoundland. In Gander, Newfoundland, I had been one of the founding members of that group, so I was very much a part of it. Here, I was the outsider. I was the new guy. But within 2 or 3 months, by sticking to it for those 2 or 3 months, things really started to change because suddenly I was making connections in the club. And by making those connections, I was learning about the area. I was learning about the photographers in the club. I was learning about what people are interested in. I was learning about what opportunities there were in this area. So all of that came across because I stuck it out through the first 2 or 3 meetings, even though at that point I still had my doubts. And that's what you need to do. You can't go to one of these and say, "Oh, I didn't like that. They were talking about baby pictures, and I don't want to do baby pictures." Guys, every type of photography, even if it is way outside of your comfort zone, is worth a listen. Because every type of photography has something in it that will be applicable to what you do. Anyhow, my point is simple. Regardless of which end of the photographic spectrum you fit on, you will find a place in a local camera club. As a member of the Focus Camera Club of Moncton, New Brunswick, I encourage anyone in this area to come out to our meetings when we start it up again in September and give it a shot. Get involved. Many people are getting into camera systems, even though most people are pretty much sticking with phones these days. Either way, we had one presentation last year of a gentleman who his entire presentation was about using the cell phone as your primary camera. Well, enough for my little rant about learning, because that's what this is all about. And as I said, this is an underutilized learning resource. Get out there, become a part of your local club, see how things are going. If it's only a handful of you that decide to get together in a coffee shop, you never know where that's going to lead either. So, if you like this video, please click a like. If you would like to see more of my videos, well, the subscribe button is there as well. And of course, if you think there is someone who may get some benefit from, well, finding out about camera clubs, then share the video. Well, bye for now.